All right, and we have now, what was that, episode 7?
Yeah, one more to go before the season break.
Of seeing music.
I'm digging it, yes.
That's chucking and jiving over here.
That's the exact version, but it's the song.
It's all in the hips and nips, guys. You just got to keep moving.
That's such a Neganism.
Yeah, right? Oh, man.
They're going to create something. Lots of Neganism.
Oh, boy.
So I think that Walking Dead fans can be happy now. I feel like that they got back on track with this episode because, I mean, it's like I was telling JP here before we started. If you're still unhappy
about
with it at
rash?
this point, no.
Oh, you're talking about the other
thing. This is news to me, too. What rash are you talking about?
Talk about
Oh, I'm sorry. I get
upper
confused.
body or lower body?
Well, it's kind of all over at this point.
Both.
Yeah.
Syphilis.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, shingles.
That's a bad rash.
But no, so what if you didn't like this episode, then I think you just need to, like, this is not going to be your show because this is kind of going to be the pace. I feel, you're going to have action and stuff. They're setting up for big things, but I really enjoyed this episode. I was thrilled with it, and I am so happy that it started off with old school badass Michonne.
Yeah.
Because I love Michonne still. I don't think her character's declined in quality any, but it's just good to see her back to her old sword-wielding ways of, like the ninja type.
Smashing bitches' faces into steering wheels, all kinds of crazy stuff.
That was awesome.
Yeah, she was doing that. I was like, what is she doing? I bet she's got a plan. What's going to happen? Why is that sword and that walkie-talkie just sitting there in the middle of the road? That's not a safe place.
That Michonne.
That there Michonne, I'll tell you what.
But yeah, I was thrilled to see that back, and JP, you had asked earlier, or you were talking a few weeks ago about Carl being in the back. You were like, I didn't see him with a gun, so I don't know if we're gonna have him spray. But we did get to see comic fans. All right, number one, I've got to say it's going to be some spoilers from the comics in this.
Yeah,
one.
as always.
You should know this by now.
But it's going to be because this episode was probably one of the most faithful to the comics.
It stayed really true.
It was
and I was talking to you about that earlier. As someone who's not familiar with the comics, it's cool how to see these things and hear you guys talk about it and then kind of see it. Like they're making Jesus, kind of building him up. You guys know he's a badass.
Right.
People like me, we're not ready, or we haven't seen it yet. Little inklings here and there that they're kind of showing, like him rolling out of the back of the truck so effortlessly. I can't even get out of bed that easy in the morning. Like, that was amazing. Yeah,
Jesus is a badass, and I liked how him and Carl's kind of, like when he saw Carl back there, he's just like, what's up,
you
man?
too, huh?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then when Carl tricks him, Jesus jumps out and Carl's in there and just gives him that what's up, wave. He's like, later.
See you, buddy.
Jesus is like, that Carl.
Yeah. And the sitcom music starts up.
There was lots of that somebodies this episode.
God, I even wrote down at one time, damn it, Carl.
So what do we think about, I'm gonna try my best to stay in chronological order here.
It's
the best
hard.
I can. It is. Do you think that Spencer maybe killed Father Gabriel? We didn't see him, number one, let me say, I love that Father Gabriel, he knows the deal. He's like, I've been on the shitty end of Rick's attitude, and I don't want to be on it again.
Right.
So when Spencer's trash talking, he's like, oh no, I've been there.
And I love it how he said, having those thoughts doesn't make you a sinner, but it does make you like a shitty person. What did he say? It doesn't make you a big shit. There's a tremendous shit.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
That was excellent.
Very
so Father
poignant.
Gabriel, I hope, that's the thing I don't like about The Walking Dead, though. Like, now that Father Gabriel is building up, you can almost bank on, he's probably going to die. And it's like, how about just build him up, let us like him, and let's keep him around for a while.
That's not The Walking Dead does, though.
How about build us up some characters, let's like them, and let them stay around for a while.
No, you like them, and then they rip your heart out.
Right.
When Spencer made it back, did he have that bow and arrow he found?
I don't know.
I can't remember. I didn't see it in his hand.
Yeah. You think he's that good of an archer? He just straight up put an arrow through Father Gabriel? Maybe.
Oh, no.
Maybe.
You guys quit talking about Father Gabriel just went to have a nice walk. That's all that happened.
I love it, though, when he's
Stop
like...
it.
The whole time when he was talking, you could see Father Gabriel's face was like...
Dude, his concentrated face looks like he's always holding in a fart. I wrote that down. He's always got that...
He said, I love that he's just like, you know what? Oh no, I've been on Rick's bad side. I don't even want to be in the same car with you.
That's a bad rod. You don't want to go down that road.
Like when you see Rick come back, Father Gabriel's just gonna walk up to him immediately and be like, man, look, I gotta tell you about this. Homeboy was talking some shit about you.
You
I
are
didn't
not
even
gonna
stay in the car.
believe.
I jumped out the car and I walked home.
I couldn't be a part of it.
You
couldn't,
can ask
Rick.
him.
I'm sorry.
I didn't even want to hear.
I trust you.
But so Father Gabriel definitely. I love that he's. And I don't know if that was in order. That might have been out of order.
That was a little bit later. It's fine.
I'm looking through my notes, and I see that down the road I put Father Gabriel knows what's up.
He still does, yeah.
But all right, I'm going to start. Of course, Michonne, badass. When she was propping the knees up on that walker, I thought she was going to like sit in their lap for a second. I was like, what is happening?
I
little
want
makeshift bitch.
2 new zombies for Christmas and a new sword.
I like that she was kind of playing Negan's game or Savior games with the Saviors, though, the pile of dead bodies. Yeah. That's something the Saviors pretty much would have done to them or similar to things that they had done. And there's 2 things. Number one, I thought that I like Carl now. I officially like Carl.
Are you serious?
I like Carl.
Super serial. Well, for a dead guy, yeah, he's pretty cool.
There
we go. Sorry.
There's a lot to be revealed.
7 episodes in, still not dropping that.
You guys want to know what this episode really reminded me of was Hook. Like Dustin Hoffman.
Rufio. Yeah. What do you? The kid trying to Hook turning Peter's kid away.
I basically thought Negan was going to get all the Saviors to put on a baseball game.
That kid.
Run home, Carl. Run home, Carl.
You want to blow bubbles? And this is for not letting me blow bubbles in my chocolate milk. And then he breaks the.
That's a good way to look at it. That's one of my favorite childhood movies too.
It's so wonderful.
But like Carl, I was looking when he shot too. Anyone else that's used to shooting guns, I don't know how many rounds were in that magazine, but it was like.
Did you see that clip?
That's what I'm saying.
Way bigger than a normal
30
clip.
round. A 30 round is not nearly that long. He had to have like a 45, which they do make 45 round magazines. So I'm thinking that might have been what it was. But that sucker was long. And that brings me to my next point. Would someone behind the scenes please teach Dwight's character how you hold a gun? Go back and watch the scene. I get my brother was trying to defend it, and I understand. They're like, well, it was a rush. He didn't have time. Okay, but Carl obviously was a fighter. He stopped when the gun was pointed at him. So obviously they wanted it to. He grabs the gun by the front where the magazine comes down, and he's holding that down on Carl. The trigger is like his finger's not even close to where the trigger or handle is, and I get people can defend it all day, but still, in my mind, that's so stupid.
What if the actor is so anti-gun that he's never even held or seen a gun being held? He's never played Call of Duty. And this is how I hold it, right?
That's what he's the same. No, in no way, shape, or form should you ever from last season. If you haven't seen it, look at the picture where he's using his middle finger as a trigger finger, and he's got his first finger up on the top. Number one, if you pull the trigger, you're going to rip all the skin off your first finger. Number two, his
finger's going to match his left side of his face.
So somebody please teach Dwight's character how to hold a damn gun.
He's too busy thinking about his wife getting plowed by Negan.
Right.
He can't concentrate on holding a gun correctly. I saw that though, and I was like, "Oh, Justin's going to enjoy this."
Oh man!
When I saw that, I thought of you.
It's a petty thing, I know, but still, it's like somebody just tease. Like they've got to have gun experts on site that can step in and go, "Look! When you're holding the gun on someone, you need to at least have you. We agree, safety first. Don't put your finger on the trigger unless you want to pull it. But you need to kind of have your hand on the handle."
They film in Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just grab a random person from Georgia. Like, sir, can you come here and tell this guy how to hold this gun? Oh, yeah, man, I got you.
Is he holding this right?
Look, there's a dude over there, full camo. Get him over here. He was just hunting this morning. Come here.
It's like, which one?
Right.
That's a whole town, man.
That is a fashion accessory. Wow. Oh, I just like camo. I'm not a hunter. Oh,
I put on Facebook a while back, though I love outdoors and stuff like that. I don't get the wearing the camo as a fashion statement. Just me. I mean, if people want to wear it, that's fine.
I make the joke all the time. I didn't see you over there.
I'm always like, do you remember the good old days when camouflage was worn to protect yourself from the sight of your enemies or your prey?
Remember all the days when you had to go hunt for your food? Remember that? Remember them good old days?
But aren't deer colorblind though? Doesn't the camo just?
Yeah, maybe.
Deer are not racist at all.
Yeah, deer are accepting.
Believe me, I've heard some colorful expressions come out of deer's mouth before.
Deer in your day. Oh man. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Lord.
Thank you.
All right. So I wrote this down too because I really like. Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Awesome. Back when I was imagining Negan, he's not playing him exactly the way I would have imagined Negan from the comics. But with that said, I am loving it. He's so damn awesome. Like, I'm loving him more and more every episode. It's not, he's doing great. He has a lot of mannerisms of Negan and the way he stands and everything, but it's not, he's more of like the Southern gentleman asshole.
Right.
Kind of reminds me of Curly Bill from Tombstone.
Oh, okay.
Whereas, I imagine Negan much more as a biker with like a gruff voice But with that said, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is kicking so much ass as Negan.
I like the way he plays it. He plays it very leisurely. Like he doesn't have a.
Well, they are in Georgia too, so odds are he's going to have that Southern accent.
Right, but he's very just relaxed and.
Well, they're in the
leisurely.
D.C. area now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
That's much more. Yeah, you're right. That is.
But even still, Northern Virginia, you got a few Southern belles up there.
And they migrate. Apparently, most of the people migrated from. A lot of people have come from the South.
I'm sure it's a pretty diverse little group.
But no, I like him when he came in. When he came in with that beer and handed it to to Carl, and then he reached down. I thought he was gonna like take a piss in the bottle while Carl was holding it. I was like, wow, assert your dominance, Negan. All right,
Drink it.
You hold it. Yeah, right. You fill it up. Drink it.
Drink it, Carl.
I gotta go again.
Drink it, Coral.
I gotta make water, Carl.
True fact, I almost named my dog Coral. Just not Carl, Coral. So that whenever he messed, like if he took off running or was barking, I could be like, Coral. And if someone be like, oh, Walking Dead, I'd be like, what are you talking about?
It's like those memes where he tells like Carl, where he's shouting at Coral. He's like, Coral, why do the zombies not eat the clowns? Because they taste funny, Coral.
And he's like, Dad, stop.
Yeah, Dad,
because they taste funny, Coral. But yeah, okay. So looking at my notes next, I wrote, we saw, for all of you hunters out there, we saw the importance of the safety harness in a tree stand this episode. Even in death.
That was a bigger fella,
you will not fall out that tree.
That's true. It's very true. Your arms will come off before you're
right. You might rot and fall out eventually. But man, that harness kept him in there. So if you're hunting, use your harness.
Just a little bit.
If it works for zombies, it should work for you.
I don't even like deer stands. When I was younger, my dad used to take me hunting, and I would get about 3 steps. I'm not a big heights fan, especially when you're attached to a tree with a lawn chair. And it was like three steps up. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to sit at the base of the tree. I'm fine.
So one time when I was little, I was practicing climbing a tree in a tree stand out in the yard, it was
fun.
Something I had no intention to do because, like yourself, I don't like heights, man. Heights and being underwater too long are two of like my biggest. Drowning and falling to my death are like my two biggest. But so I get about. I mean, as a kid, it felt like 100 feet, but it probably was like 20, 25 feet. And the bottom falls. I didn't have them tied together. So I only had the part that I'm sitting on. And my dad had to climb up and get me. But he thought it was funny and decided to let me stay up there for a little while.
Why not?
And so I was terrified.
Good old dad.
So needless to say, I don't do tree stands.
Son, you'll thank me one day.
when I don't. Yeah, for the money I save from not buying a tree stand.
Thank you, Dad, for scaring the crap out of me. I appreciate it.
But here's one good thing, too. You know, we might have lost Abraham's awesome, like, one-liners and funny things, but we got it back tenfold with Negan.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything that comes out of Negan's mouth is, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I loved what he told, what's-her-face, Olivia.
Oh my God! But the whole fat thing.
When he tells her he wants to bang her or whatever,
I would like to plow you.
Then she smacks him. I told JP that wasn't in the comics, but man, that was so Negan.
I
am
50% more into you now. Like, oh God, like I feel so bad because he's objectifying her, but at the same time, that is freaking hilarious.
I think it's
I wonder if she's got like a thyroid issue, maybe, because they can't be eating that much. I don't know.
I mean, it could also just be she's just fat. I don't know.
Oh, man. And I'll tell you, when they got to the scene where Carl was upset, like, and I know I feel like if you would have watched it on TV, you might have felt more. But when I watched that, I actually felt bad for him. Like, I felt feels in my chest.
I didn't. He put himself in that situation. Whatever. So many times this season, I've been like, damn it, Carl.
I think Chandler Riggs I think his acting has gotten a bit better.
I will agree with that.
Because I never have had a problem with Chandler Riggs. I've always not liked Carl, but I've not had, people are always like, but I met Chandler Riggs in Comic Con.
That's
so
kind
nice.
of a cool name.
And it is. And I'm like, it's almost gonna be like a hip hop name, Chandler Riggs. But
Jiggity Jar Jar Dude, dirt.
But I told him, I was like, I don't have a problem with Chandler Riggs. It's Carl. It's the way he's written. It's not the acting. But with that said, I think that his acting's gotten better because I genuinely felt bad for Carl.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with any
he did
of the
that half
actors.
cry.
Oh, the half cry. Oh, what he said to his father, he was like, "You got that same squint as your father." Well, only half.
Half of it.
So many Cyclops jokes.
Oh
this
my
episode.
goodness!
And Negan just not afraid. You know, and that's one thing too. Just does not care about his people whatsoever.
No.
I mean, takes his one guy and uses him as a shield, which I love that too. When he tells him, he's like, "I'm not gonna lie, kid. You scare the shit out of me." Like that was. I think he said that in the comics.
Yeah, I think that was right out of the comic. Yeah.
And in the comics, I think he mowed down quite a few more people, didn't he? Didn't he just kind of get out and start spraying?
Yeah,
and
I asked you that because he only dropped 2 people, didn't he?
Yeah, which I understand why they did. I mean, this is, I understand they didn't want him to just hop out. I love the build up too when he was in the back of the truck and the guys coming back.
Yeah, I was like, is he going to? What's happening?
What's happening? Oh God.
Speaking of Negan's guys, remember when the 2 dudes were like hanging out on the tailgate talking about all the like new ammunition and stuff they had, and they mentioned taking somebody out? What were they talking about? Did you guys catch that?
I did not.
They
were talking something about like the RPG, and they were like, "This could really take whatever out," or something like that. I was like, "What is that?"
That's a good question. I don't remember. I mean, I remember them sitting back there, but to be honest, I really feel like I wasn't paying as much attention as I should have been.
But yeah, with Carl going and doing his own thing, and then Jesus doing his own thing, and then like everybody needs to come together and make a cohesive plan. Like everybody needs to get their shit together because it's like, let's split up, gang, and everybody's just going out. It's like, what are we doing?
Minus
Same page.
Rick's part was smaller, but they did this right here shows they can do the flashing between different things,
Let's discuss
and it
that.
works fine.
What's going on with Rick and Aaron?
I don't know,
Aaron,
but
right?
can I say that I think they found a real life video game? Did that not look like a
Right?
video game level
Right.
Yeah.
with the water and all the zombies? So they're out looking for something, supplies for Negan right now, which I still hold steadfast in that Rick has a plan, but he just knows that Negan's not stupid. Negan needs to believe these people are fully submissive.
That's a good
Because if he doesn't, then Negan's going to pick up on, they still have a glimmer of hope, and he's going to kill someone else or do something else. So Rick didn't get to the top by being stupid. I mean, Rick knows, how to handle these people. But yeah, they're looking for supplies, and it looks like there's going to be a lot. But I like the sign was like, if you've even read this far without being shot, then that means I'm dead. Whoever wrote that sign that he and Aaron. And I'm glad they're bringing Aaron more into it because I really like the actor that plays him. And he's a pretty big character in the comics. So I'm glad they're starting to put him with Rick more because I hated it when he was up. I understood what they were saying, but when he was up on the chopping block and everyone was like, if they kill Aaron, that's just going to suck because who cares about Aaron? I'm like, I like Aaron. I mean, I get that he's not on the level of Rick and Abraham as far as being a main character, but I like Aaron. I think the guy's a good actor. He's very likable, and I enjoy the character, so I would be a little sad. But I'm glad they put him with Rick, and they're maybe going to start moving him up to more of like a Rick's right hand.
That'd be cool
type thing.
And it's got a cool backstory, the whole thing where he's like going through Africa before the whole Armageddon, and like making peace between tribes or whatever. I remember,
which reflects in his
I was like, man, that's pretty cool, pretty cool.
But yeah, so and I mean his, let's face it here, it's inevitable. It's going to be Jesus and which they haven't disclosed it on the show, but they haven't disclosed it outside the show. So if you don't want a spoiler, tune away real quick. This won't take 10 seconds.
1.
They've confirmed that Jesus will be gay in the show. They asked the actor Tom Payne, I think, that plays him, were they going to stick to that? And he said, they were sticking. Jesus is gay in the show, just like he is in the comics. So with that said, him and Aaron would be a power couple. Aaron's no chump. Aaron's boyfriend is a little chump.
That they're not they're not using it for
that's
personal,
what I like, is they're not
ratings games.
Right. They're not.
It needs to be authentic to the story.
Right. Well, it's just like the man-on-woman love scenes. Like they're there, they're there, but they're not shoving it in your face. Now they haven't had that many, I guess, male-on-male scenes, but just like with the male-on-female, they don't really push sexuality that much in the show until Negan stepped up.
We didn't see that early in the prison
which I
episodes.
like. I'm watching this for zombies and survival, be it man-on-man, woman-on-man, woman-on-woman. I'm not really in this show for sex. I just want to see them kill zombies. Right.
All of it.
That's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about Daryl for a second, man. I mean, we see him kind of bucking up to Negan. He's been very, I mean, I do like that, that they have that bond, like he tells Negan, if you do anything to him, talking about Carl, I'm glad to see that there's still Daryl in there. With seeing that, I don't think that we're going to see what we had saw earlier. We'd heard that perhaps Daryl would become one of the main bad guys. He may do something that's going to make you hate him, but I think that Daryl will forever be loyal to Rick and them. Perhaps he'll take up kind of like Dwight's mantle of like doing what Negan says, but the whole time just waiting for his opportunity. Because I think Dwight's just waiting. Dwight is just waiting for a chance to get at Negan. Because the whole making out with his wife thing, he planned that perfectly. He summoned him and then decided to make out with her so, Dwight would see it.
So when Daryl's in that cell, they slipped him like a key or something?
It said move now, right? Or something to go now or something. He's trying to make his break.
So who do you think slipped it to him? The Dwight's old hussy, or
I think
Dwight? Or
it could be Dwight.
Yeah, I was thinking Dwight because after seeing Negan doing the iron again and teasing him for him, Negan gave Dwight a lot of crap this episode,
and I'm starting to actually feel bad. I mean, I feel bad more for Dwight's wife, but I'm starting to feel a little sorry for Dwight.
Yeah, I see. They want you to like Dwight. Again, I'm not a big fan of the actor himself. I mean, he's a good actor.
It's because he can't hold the gun right. Is that it? That's a big thing.
He secretly would not be on my zombie apocalypse survival team.
In the audition process, that probably would have been the first thing I would have asked for. Can you just hold this gun for us real quick?
Just let me see how you hold it.
Oh, God, no. Next. I'm sorry. We can't. Did he just put his middle finger on the trigger? Yeah, he did. Oh, what a loser.
It's just something about him. But, I mean, like I said, it's not the actor. He's not a bad actor. You know, this isn't a Denise thing where you said the actress just was terrible.
Who?
Denise.
I don't know who you're talking about.
The doctor. Yeah,
Who?
Of course you don't.
Yeah. We do this every time, and you always say Denise.
Matt hated
Arrow
Denise
through the eye.
and thought that she was a terrible actress.
I remember that.
Yeah. So, questions this episode.
One more thing we didn't talk about: Rosita and Eugene and the whole bullet scenario.
Yes. Okay, that's actually
because the one thing that I remember down. At the beginning, Eugene, he does his big words all the time.
I've got two things. Hold on, let me back up for a second just to stay in chronological order. I know we're not going to be perfect at that, but you're right. I actually wrote down that we needed to talk about that. But two things before we get to that. I already said the cried. When Negan was walking up to do the iron and he was beating the bat on the railing, that was intimidating, man. Like, as a viewer, just to imagine you're sitting down there waiting and then you just hear the doof.
That's going to become his thing now because the gate a couple of weeks ago, he's always knocking Lucille on stuff.
Yep. So I thought that was really good. Like, that was very well filmed, very well. That was a good thought to put that in there because that really just showed, because you've seen the other side of Negan in the sense of, not that he's insecure or anything, but you've seen his goofy side. But these people don't see that. They just see this ruthless. And I mean, that was a great way to just announce, like, I'm here, bitches. You know?
So, they just like kneeled right down.
As soon as he came out. And then I said, which I mean, I guess doctors' coats do have a purpose. I always just thought they were. But like the doctor in the zombie apocalypse, I'm like, really, at this point, do we really need the coat now to just, I mean, other than to just straight up for the plot say, this is obviously the doctor. We want you to know that.
And he just said, doc, but it's so funny. Like, what is that guy's purpose? And he just comes over, he's passed out. It looks like third-degree burns on his face.
So
this is my personal opinion. I'm just a professional. I mean, he just walks. That'd be $500.
In my professional opinion, his face is screwed up.
A little aloe, he'll be fine.
Do you want to? You have insurance? How about that Affordable Health Care Act? Did that last past the apocalypse?
Even in the zombie apocalypse, people are still complaining about Obamacare. Yep.
That is excellent. All right, so now back to what you said. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just trying to stay in somewhat order so we don't miss things. I really felt bad for Eugene, but Rosita was exactly right.
Yeah.
Like, Josh McDermott does a good job of showing emotion with his face. Like when Negan was beating Abraham to death, just his crying made me want to cry. Like, he couldn't even look at it.
Yeah.
But
I thought Rosita was a little out of line, though, because she said something about how, he'd never saved any of their lives. What about on the railroad tracks when he bit Dwight's dick?
Yeah, true that.
That created a diversion.
True that.
Yeah.
That is true.
What she was saying was true, but it was a bit outdated, we can say. Like, a little while before that, it would have fit in perfectly. But we've seen Eugene. But I think that was the point of the scene, was that we know Eugene has been trying to step up and be brave. And then, I guess at where he's thinking he's doing pretty good, then someone just comes and cuts him down completely and reminds him he's still a coward, he lied. And I think that was the point of that scene, was just to bring him back. But I felt so bad for him. She was right.
Awful.
In my group of friends, if I were to bite someone's dick off, like, they would never let it drop. They would never let it down. But they don't even talk about that. They don't even. And then one of my big things was a typical TV trope when Eugene is talking to Rosita and he's using his big words. He has a very big vocabulary.
Yes,
and then she turns around and goes, "What?" And it's like, they do that all the time. Someone says something big, and then someone goes, "What?" And they simplify it into 3 words.
Yeah.
And that's just, I saw that, my eyes rolled.
Thing is, though, you would imagine you've been around, you adjust. That's how friendships work. Like, you don't behave around certain friends the way you do around other friends. Like, you've got some certain friends that you talk to. Like, I've got one friend that if you didn't know us and you saw us commenting each other on Facebook, you'd think we hate each other, but that's just how we talk. Then I've got some friends that we never play insults. So you adjust according to your friends. So being with her this long, you think Eugene would realize that most of the people around him don't understand that big fancy talk and would just kind of, whenever he was trying to explain something, would just try to simplify it out the gate.
Right.
Which I guess he was upset, so he just let it go. And
but that just made my eyes roll, because you see that all the time in movies and TV, whatever. But I even wrote down, I was like, Eugene, just make her the damn bullets.
Right. Look, and check this out. After seeing Jesus in the back and on top of the truck, it's brought a whole new meaning to the old saying, Jesus is always with you.
Jesus is my co-pilot.
Nice.
Yep, there you go.
Jesus is always with you. And I'm not going to lie, a day with Negan don't seem too bad. Carl and Negan seemed like they were having a great old time.
A Day with Negan seems like a children's book that Negan would write.
It does.
All right, children, sit down for a day with Negan.
A Day with Negan.
Speaking of that, and like sitting down, children, all that, very anti. I mean, I get the danger that he has Judith, but it was a very anticlimactic ending.
And that brings me to my next point. That brings me to my next point.
I was like, is that his real kid in real life? Because she is not minding him at all.
A lot of folks are thinking that he's going to kill Judith. I do not think he's going to kill Judith, but we did see Rick crying at the end of next episode, which begs the question: either what happened or who died. I've got number one. I'm going to make a prediction. We had someone comment and say make predictions, and this isn't really all that bold or unique of a prediction. It's kind of simple, especially if you read the comics. But Spencer's going to die next episode. Spencer is going to die. I won't tell you how, but he will die next episode.
Oh, no.
And I do not see Rick crying over Spencer's death. I mean, he and Spencer have not got along. If he's got tears in his eyes, what I think, and I didn't come up with this. I saw this in the comments section where people were talking on Facebook. What I think is going to happen is, this will be really cool. Negan will make Rick choose which child he leaves behind, and he's going to take one back to the sanctuary. Wow. I think that's why Rick's crying. I think he will kill Spencer. I won't say how, because it's awesome. It's terrible, but it's awesome. But I think what's going to happen is he's going to tell Rick, and again, I'm going to make the prediction, but I didn't come up with the concept. I just saw someone on Facebook had said, they kind of teetered with played with the idea, and I'm like, take it a step further. They said that he's crying because he's going to take Judith back. I think it would be cool if he made Rick choose. Like, okay,
that's even better.
You know what? Your son came and killed two of my people, and I bring him back to you safe and sound. So which one do you want? And I think Rick will let you.
See, I don't know, man. I don't think Rick would. He would take me instead. And then if he didn't, he'd be like, I can't. I don't think Rick would choose Judith.
You don't. I just feel like. But if he threatens to kill her, he will. I mean, if Negan's got
that is true. It's like, either let me take her or I kill her right now.
Right. He's like, either you pick a child or I'm going to kill one, or whatever. I think. But the show's not going to kill Judith, not by Negan, because if you take Negan and you have him kill an infant, you've crossed a line with Negan that you're never going to come back from. Because in the comics, spoiler alert, you're starting to like Negan. I mean, you're starting to root for Negan.
And this is way later on.
Way later. You're not going to ever get that if he kills an infant. You know what I mean? Or a toddler.
I like seeing him with the clean shave.
Yeah,
that little snippet. He finally shaved that stuff off.
People have been complaining. They want to see clean.
So there's
shaven.
your prediction for that Nodnarb.
I think
the guy that asked you to do predictions. Is Nodnarb.
Yeah, somebody had commented and asked if we start doing prediction videos.
You're welcome, Nodnarb.
So we'll start doing some predictions for you. I don't know how accurate they're going to be. That's kind of why I hadn't done them yet, because a lot of our predictions are not accurate. The difference between a prediction and a hypothesis
or whatever, we were talking about that last week.
Yeah, well, and I'm going to say this too, and I love The Walking Dead. Remember, if we start doing some live video casts and we do one from my man room, you're going to see Walking Dead stuff everywhere. So I love this show. But
so we're allowed in the man room?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
But with that said, a lot of times our predictions are wrong, but not because this show is hard to predict, but because sometimes we expect too much out of it. You know what I mean? Like, we'll predict, again, like the whole Maggie thing, this crazy twist that you don't see coming and blah, 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 blah. And they just do what everyone had said they would.
Why is it when you say man room, I'm like, yeah, cool, sounds fun. But when JP says man room, I'm like,
you think that's a room you might not want to go in? I don't know
if I want to go in that room.
Come on down. Move those chains out your way.
There's a difference between the man room and the men's room. And
what if
Shackles
we call
right there,
it
Rusty.
The man box?
Still.
Man
not
space?
Nope. Even worse.
Manhole.
I want to feel. You got it.
No.
You got it.
Man-hole.
Oh, man. That actually already exists. I think that's where the Ninja Turtles hang out.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, manhole.
They like going in and out of the manhole.
The sewer. Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Who was that?
Ooh, I don't know.
Someone under your desk?
Somebody who definitely got their manhole filled. I'll tell you that.
Yikes.
Jeez. Yeah, that sounds better.
More appropriate.
Yeah.
So when you guys... I'm not even going to say that. When you guys come into the man cave,
okay,
I'll tell you what I was going to say earlier. I'm not going there. But my main prediction, now the whole making them choose, that's what I think might happen. But
that's
I'm not going to say
cool
that
idea.
prediction. But I do predict Spencer will die next episode. I think he's going to try to rat Rick out because they're building up to it. I mean, he's constantly letting people and Rick know how unhappy he is with Rick as a leader. And again, comic spoilers in 3, 2, 1. In the comics, he tells Negan he basically that he should kill Rick and let Spencer. Spencer's like, you should kill Rick and let me run this place. Blah 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 blah. And that doesn't quite go over so well. So I do think Spencer will die, and I just can't imagine. Maybe Rosita takes her shot. that was another prediction. Now, that I didn't make at all. Someone had predicted that Rosita would go to take a shot at Negan and accidentally kill Judith.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
Which would...
Whoa.
Really, though, Judith is kind of pointless in the plot, though. I mean, she's just there. You don't see her half the time. Jeez. And, she really doesn't serve any point. At least by Negan taking her to the sanctuary, at least now she'll have a point in the plot of the story. She's not just an afterthought like... Oh, yeah, there's these survivors and a baby. It's like she actually is essential to the plot. Now he's got Daryl and, the baby. Because essentially Rick knows the baby's not his. So do you think that he would let Carl go over Judith?
I think he would just let Carl go because it's his baby. He still considers her his baby girl.
Man, but with Carl's so influential, man. I'd be scared to let him spend too much time with Negan. I mean, he's already kind of
that is true.
Played around with the
and I think that's what Negan sees. He's
right.
trying to influence him.
He sees that he's a hard kid, and he's like, I could probably swing him my way.
You scare the shit out of him. He was like, don't do that. He's like, don't you, like at the beginning of the episode where he's like, you've made progress or whatever. He's like, don't be scared of me. Yeah. You're not scared of anything.
Yeah. The dynamic, Chandler Riggs and him have good on-screen chemistry too. I really like, that was straight from the comic when he told him to sing a song and he's over there practicing his swings. That was, because I remember the frames of that in the comic made me laugh because Negan's just got his eyes closed like he's dancing with the bat almost, practicing. Like you just imagine this big grown man playing karate in the background while Carl's singing.
Yeah, I remember certain like panels from the comic from this episode where I've read bits and pieces, and it was like the parts that I saw were very true.
If comic fans aren't happy with it right now, I just think you're being a little too choosy because they are doing a great job of trying to stick to the comics but make it different.
Right.
I mean, I don't like the boring filler episodes, and someone I had read, I keep trying to give credit because I don't want to try to.
That's why I'm here for it.
You don't want to try to take credit for someone else. Well, no, I don't think anybody commented this on the YouTube.
I don't have you. Never mind.
You just don't want to take people's ideas as your own. Plagiarism sucks, folks.
It does.
But what was it? They were talking about crap. Where was I going? Oh, the filler episodes. I was telling JP. They said, the thing is, Game of Thrones. They only have 10 episodes, so that's why every episode can be good. Walking Dead has like a 16 episode contract, so as a result, that's why you sometimes get these filler episodes. So I would be completely cool with cutting it down to 10 if we were going to get quality over quantity any day. But if you take the filler episodes aside, like Terra, I mean that's something that we didn't. I mean you could have, as little time as we saw of Aaron and Rick yet last night, you could have done the Terra thing that way, just shown a little bit of, but but like doing that. Other than that, I think they're writing it really good. It took me a long way to get that out, but
so what you're trying to say is the writing's good.
The writing's pretty good. I think they're doing a pretty good job of writing this as far as trying to keep it true to the comics, but doing things to keep you guessing.
Right.
Because Judith's not in the comics at this point. She died.
And Rick was a lot younger. It was a little different.
And Rick didn't have a hand. Yeah. One of his hands was missing.
Carl's like crying, and you're like, well, he is like 10 years old. Like in the comic right now, he's about the same age as he is in the show. It's a little weird seeing him at like 16 crying.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's almost a adult. Carl could vote in the next year or two.
But I mean,
it's hard to play the kid.
They're still holding elections. It's good.
Yeah.
But no, I get it. I mean, at 15, 16, you got to think about it. Like he's at that age where every little thing can get to him. So when someone's making fun of his eye socket where he's missing an eye, it's reminding him about his mother who's gone. He's helpless right now because he had this big plan and now it's all falling apart.
I think
even a grown man might cry.
I think
not me, not JP.
No, not JP.
Way.
JP was like, "You are my son," like dancing around.
I
with
really
the bat,
feel like it was a suicide mission. Like I think
you think so?
Oh,
I think he's too young to even realize. I think he thought, "I'm going to go in there and I'm going to kill everybody."
No, I'm almost 100% sure they wrote that as because that scene with Enid, that was like a final goodbye scene. Like Carl was telling her goodbye. Like he was never going to see her again.
And with that hair covering his face, he's totally got like an emo look going. Yeah. So you might be on.
I don't think that Carl had any intention to come back. I think Carl's main, he knew out the gate that he probably was going to die, but he just wanted to take Negan out before he went. Because I like what he said, when he comes out and he's like, no, I only want Negan. None of you need to die. Just take, bring me Negan. And then, of course, we get the charming Jeffery Dean Morgan. Kid, I'm not going to lie, you scare the shit out of me.
That probably would have been the time to, start shooting, when Negan's walking around in front of you.
Because that guy was in front of him, but he had an automatic rifle, or semi-automatic, just shoot through the guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's one. That's just like the scene with Daryl, where Daryl used the zombie as a shield in like season 4 during the governor fight scene when they would all lighten him up, but the bullets go through stuff. I'm not saying it wouldn't stop a few, but
I got to find the fattest zombie I can find.
That's like a movie trope too, when people hide behind doors and stuff. I mean, bullets go right through corridors.
Yeah, every door is a titanium door in every action movie.
It's. But yeah, so I mean, I feel like it was a suicide mission. Comment below, people. Remember, we love comments. Like we love comments. You guys have no idea how much we talk about the comments. And they're starting to pick up. People are commenting more and more. It's awesome. We love the comments. Like agree, disagree. Do you think that it was a suicide? That's something. You know what? We should do that. And like we see, you guys are involved in the writing. That would be cool. Come up with some questions to ask our audience at the end of every podcast.
Yeah.
Every Walking Dead, as far as like, hey, do you think that it was a suicide mission? Do you think that Carl went there with a plan, or do you think his goal was just to spray until he killed Negan and, really had no care for himself? Do you think
that's right? I do want to know what your opinion. Do you think it was a suicide mission, or do you think Carl just wasn't thinking it through? Let us know.
I think. I think it's both. I think he wasn't thinking it through, but he was just, by not thinking it through, it was a suicide mission. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he had a plan. I think he was just like, I'm going to go in there and shoot Negan. I'm probably going to die. And
see, that's where I don't think it went through his head. He's like, I think he's like, there's a chance I could die, but I'll be okay. That's what I feel like he was, because he wasn't conveying it enough. You got to
think, though. What would you think, though? I mean, you're going into their headquarters, killing their leaders, and you're not thinking that people are going to mow you down? But at 16
years old, like, I wonder.
Carl's pretty calculated. I mean, he was smart enough to sneak in that truck and not be seen. True. I mean, we can't play him like he's a dumb kid. He's smart enough to do things like get in the back of the truck without being seen and
but we've all been teenagers. 1 minute we're super smart. The next minute,
we haven't been teenagers in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, that is true. You grow up a lot quicker.
You grow up a lot different. But so do you think that it was a suicide mission per se, just in the sense of he wasn't planning on coming back, or do you think he had a plan and he was trying to get back after he did it?
Oh, boy. I like that.
Well, see, and that kind of, the young, dumb, full of guns things kind of goes with what I'm saying.
And I took that from Point Break. I changed the words a little bit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a Nick Nolte line. Look it up.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, from what?
From Point Break. The original one, not the new one. Not the new one. The original with Keanu Reeves and Kurt Russell.
Just didn't pique my interest.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you think he had a plan? Do you think Carl planned on? That's the best way to ask this question, because a lot of what you're saying is agreeing with what I'm saying.
Right.
Do you think Carl planned to go back? Yay or nay? Do you think Carl thought? Do you? That's what. All right. That's the best way to ask this question.
Disagree with you.
That's the best way to ask this question. Do you think that Carl had intentions on going back? Do you think that he thought he was going to make it out of there?
Right. Was this a one-way? In his mind, was this a one-way trip, or was this a possible two-way trip?
There you go. And then, do you think that Negan will kill Judith? And then there's another
so many questions.
Do you think that Rick? Let's just, for the fun of it, if Rick had to choose between Carl or Judith, who do you think he would pick?
Oh, that's a good. Yeah. And then I have another question. Who the hell was that random guy at the end of the episode walking beside the house where Negan was like, "Come over, we'll grill out later." Like, I feel like he was just a camera dude or something. They're like, "Bill, get over here. Just keep going.
And perhaps Negan just stayed in character.
He's like, "Who the hell is that? Hey, let's grill out sometime."
A lot of good scenes.
Oh yeah, and the music, man. If anything, this show is always spot on with their music choices. Whoever does those decisions doing a great job. Like, all the music always sets the tone.
Yeah, I've
really
always liked their music, man.
And their opening intros are always solid. This one, opening intro, I know it was a longer episode, but the intro for this one was like 12 minutes long. Like, it was a long, cold open.
Yeah, it was. Now, it started with Michonne, right?
Started with Michonne and then went to Carl in the truck. And, it was, I think, he shot down that guy before the intro even started. And then Dwight had him on the ground.
What about that iron scene? That looked painful.
God! And it was crazy. Like, his eyeball and that thing. It's a mixture. Sometimes they do it really well, a mixture of makeup and CGI. But the whole face thing,
the Carl
looked a little, and his eye, both of them looked a little too.
I thought looked a little
too
fake,
CGI-ish.
And that's the problem too with everything going HD and getting so good quality. Yeah. It's really, I bet it's a nightmare for special effects.
Pretty soon they're just gonna have to do real stuff, like actually burn people.
They're gonna have to say, in order to take this role. Oh, man, don't even get me started. I know a guy that dated a girl that thought when someone died in the movie, they died in real life, and I'm not even
That's called a snuff film. So, technically on some movies she's right, but okay.
Yes.
I just can't believe how many times that actress has died in this movies. Sandra Bullock was in space, and she survived. George Clooney's dead. Did you hear? He's just floating around out there.
How do you think they were in the sequel? Witchcraft. But yeah, so some interesting questions there. I like to start doing that. Maybe before we sit down, we should we don't want to, because we try not to talk about the episode before the podcast. so we don't, throw anything out there that we, but maybe we should sit down, like come up with some questions ourselves and then go over before the podcast and throw them at the end. Like, do you think that Carl planned on getting home, or do you think that he pretty much was thinking, this is it? Do you think that Negan would kill Enid? Not Enid, damn it. Judith.
There you go.
I need to go back to.
They both have D's.
It's been a long weekend.
Yeah.
It's been a long weekend. So yeah, do you think Judith is safe? Do you think that Spencer, comic readers, do you think Spencer's going to die next episode? And where is Heath? Where's Father Gabriel? So many questions.
A lot going on.
And another versus like you guys did last week, the Negan versus the sheriff, or sorry, the governor.
Yeah,
the sheriff. He got demoted.
That's good.
No, who would win in a fight between? Trying to think of two random people. Carl and Judith. Yeah.
I mean, Judith, man.
She looks
Shane's
sneaky, dude.
kid.
Right?
Yeah.
She's always got in her little bonnet. She's probably got a knife ready to go.
Carl's Rick's kid, so I mean, Rick technically beats Shane.
She'll just point at his eye socket and laugh, and then he'll be defeated.
Like, I can't do anything.
I can't do this.
But yeah, so this episode I thought was fantastic. We'll do the ratings. I'm going to go ahead and give it like a solid 8.5. You know what? I hadn't done this in a while. I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to give it a 9.
Where's he going?
Whoa!
I was very entertained.
That makes me want to crumple my paper up.
Throw it. I hope they always hear that. That's good. I'm going to give it a 9 because I thought everybody's acting was great. I liked that they were showing us a couple of different things at one time. It didn't just focus on one. I mean, it was mainly the governor and Carl, but you saw a little bit of Michonne, a little bit of
Negan
Rick.
And Carl.
Who did I say?
The governor.
Oh my God!
Tripping.
Yeah. Take a nap. Okay.
It's spreading.
But anyways, I thought it was a great episode. I never found myself bored. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jeffrey Dean Morgan made it a very enjoyable experience. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9. I had no problem with it.
Okay, I'm gonna give it. I have high hopes for the mid-season finale next week, so I'm gonna give this one an 8.5. Because it was a good episode, like last week.
Oh my God, an 8.5 from you?
Yeah, what happened last week? What
you
did
ended up giving it like a 9 or a 10,
what?
Right? Yeah.
Last week?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to stop missing these things. You guys are messing me up.
Yeah, you
were very generous.
Oh, God.
We talked you into it.
Oh,
we turned it around.
You did a good job.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, 8.5 on this one. It was good. It was a solid episode, a little bit longer, anticlimactic ending. But
it's setting up for something. I can deal with those when I know it's
all the
setting
time.
up.
We have to justify it by they're setting up for something, and I get that.
I
know, but at the same time, I want.
I mean, when you play basketball, you don't just you have to set up for the shot.
Play
you don't
basketball.
just jump around
NBA
the corner.
2K17, right?
No, I'm talking about real basketball.
Oh, real basketball. Okay.
No, I mean, they are setting up. I mean, Game of Thrones does it. Game of Thrones has some endings that is anticlimactic, but then
they accomplish things in each episode while they're building something up. You know, like you get payoffs while building. The 10-16.
I think that's got a lot to do with The Walking Dead dragging things out in these fillers. But no, I mean, it's kind of anticlimactic, but I mean, I've seen The Walking Dead do anticlimactic and then come back after that and completely just blow your mind.
Right. So I think next week's going to be a good episode, but this week, really good compared to the last few. 8.5. Solid 8.5.
Now, I'm kind of with you, Matt. I would have liked to have seen Spencer get stabbed like at the end of this episode. That's what I wish they had left out.
Right.
Like his intestines like coming out on the ground and you know.
I have been trying my best not to spoil how he died, and you just did it.
No, I didn't.
The last several podcasts,
yeah,
I have specifically said I'm not going to tell you how Spencer dies.
I didn't say that's how
awesome.
It was
at one point you have
hypothetical.
You have said that they tell him you got no guts or something like that, but that's the most.
Right,
that's
but
the
we didn't
most you
say,
said,
yeah.
And he was just like, "Yeah, I wish he would have got stabbed, had his guts spilled out." Oh, well, there you go.
Totally hypothetical. We can edit that out,
dude. Your prediction is probably going to be the most spot on. I feel
no.
But yeah, so you give it a. What do you give it?
I'll give it like a 9.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
2 9s and an 8.5. The Walking Dead's doing good.
Should I go down to an 8?
No.
Since you guys, okay.
No.
Because you guys gave me a 9 or a 10.
No, nobody likes a hipster, man. Nobody likes
Hipsters shouldn't even like hipsters, technically.
Right.
If you think about it.
Right. So yeah, great episode. Solid. Like I said, a little lacking at the ending, but I can deal with it because I thoroughly enjoyed the episode. You know,
just Negan on the front porch enjoying some lemonade.
Who doesn't want to sit on the front porch with Negan?
And that's one thing. Real quick before we go, he told her to make some lemonade. Take your time. I left, and then he said make it good. But before that, he said I had that good powder mix. First of all, anyone who drinks lemonade knows that the powder mix can never be that good.
I bet it is in zombie apocalypse.
That's probably It's just water and powder, like Gatorade or something. But no, I mean you got to have sugar water, and lemons, and some ice. That's all you need.
Okay.
I like
simple
that
syrup,
recipe.
lemon. Yeah, man. Make it all the time. Oh.
So yeah,
what is that?
We appreciate you. You know,
are we starting? Are we starting now?
We're ending.
Hey, and welcome to The Walking Dead. It's Matt taking over for Justin this week. It's been an amazing episode. A lot of shit happened. We hope you enjoy it. Spoilers: people die.
Actually, Nobody died this episode.
A couple of Negan's guys.
Yeah. Some people.
They did.
It's
Two
The
of
Walking
Negan's
Dead.
dudes.
Someone's going to die.
Yeah. Well, we will see you again. We'll probably see you this week. We're trying to do like little videos in between the weekly podcast. So we'll see you soon. I'm Justin.
I'm Matt.
And JP.
Hey.
Boo.